Hey guys, my name is Addie. If you guys don't already know me, I'm one of the leaders for Student Fusion, and I'm really thankful to be. I have been a member of Pleasant Valley South for almost 2 years now. I became a member when my now husband, Will, and I were engaged. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about myself and how I came to know Christ. So let's start. Start at the beginning. I don't remember a time in my life where I didn't know who Jesus was. I was blessed to grow up in a family of believers. I have a mom, a dad, a sister, and a brother who all have accepted Christ as their Savior. And because of the age gap there, I pretty much had four adults at home. My brother is the next closest sibling, and he is 8 years older than me, and my sister is a year older than him. So we grew up in church. They taught me at home. They taught me in church. I had an awesome church family that taught me about Jesus, and all of that led me to accept Christ at a pretty early age. I was 7 years old at Vacation Bible School is when I accepted Jesus as my Savior. And then later that summer I got baptized at our church picnic on my birthday, which was fun. But at that age I was 7, so I understood the facts. I understood that I was a sinner, that I deserved death and separation from God, but that God had sent Jesus to die for my sins, and that he rose from the dead, defeating death and giving the opportunity to all people to have salvation in him. And that was kind of where my understanding stopped at that point. It was a few years later that I started to understand that I needed a relationship with God, that I had more to do than just know the facts as a follower of Christ. So it was in middle school when I had like the realization moment, I guess you could say. I was at summer camp in Florida when I realized, like, hey, I'm not doing this quite right. I'm missing something, and it's that relationship that I keep hearing about. So somewhere around 8th grade, I kind of had what I've referred to before as like a rededication moment. I knew that I needed to make a change, and the Lord provided me a lot of leaders and mentors and people to help me grow in the next stage of my life, I guess. So fast forwarding to high school, those 4 years were extremely formative for me. I was involved at church and involved at school and never stopped going. I was music all the time. I was in band and chorus at school, and I was in high school choir and youth orchestra at church. My whole life was music, and I don't know that I could have loved it more. It was my favorite thing. And it wasn't until the end of high school that I kind of got clarity on why I loved music so much. We had gone to Poland on a choir mission tour. My senior year of high school, I had just graduated. It was that summer, and at the end of that trip I actually accepted a calling into music ministry. So at that point I just like had this super emotional moment, and like was super at peace and just had so much joy, but was so overwhelmed. But the peace and joy were the fact that I finally had an understanding of why I loved music so much, what the purpose behind that was. My passion for music exists so that I can serve the Lord and share the gospel in that and through that. So that was a really cool time, and it kind of changed my whole life's trajectory through college. I started college in Alabama as a music education major, and then I actually ended up transferring schools and changing majors, coming to Shorter University and becoming a youth ministry major my junior year. And that was when I started really focusing on getting ministry opportunities and focusing on what the Lord wanted for me and not what I wanted for myself. I was able to be the BCM, the Baptist Collegiate Ministries, worship leader and coordinator for the 2.5 years I was at Shorter. And I had endless opportunities at churches here in Rome, and I'm just really thankful that Shorter brought me to Rome to get those opportunities, that the Lord guided that so carefully and brought me here. So I have a degree in youth ministry, and I still have opportunities. As you guys know, I am a leader at Student Fusion, and I love that. I'm so thankful for that, and I'm so excited to be back with you guys. I know that this season is weird and annoying and just strange, just like so weird, and it can feel like we're never going to get back to normal. And while we may not get back to what we know is normal now, don't don't doubt that God's not working, because He is. I can guarantee you He is still working, He is still in charge, and we don't have to worry about that. And that leads me to my favorite Bible verse, Philippians 1:6. And I am sure of this, that He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ. That Bible verse was kind of introduced to me. I'm sure I'd read it before, but it became really important to me during college, during an internship one summer, and I just kind of realized, hey, this tells me that I don't have to worry about it, that I'm not in charge, but that if God's created something for me to do, that I can trust that He's going to fulfill that. So I want to encourage you guys with that too. Like, we were all created in the image of God with a purpose to glorify Him, and we can know that He's going to make that happen, that He's going to bring that to completion. So that's my story, and I hope it blessed you. I hope you learned something, and I hope to see you guys soon.